Last week, I talked a little bit about where I've been and kind of the temper tantrum I threw with God and balancing it, or not balancing, but really just seeing my struggle between performance and purpose. However, I want to talk about how I got there. I'm 23 and it's the first time I've been single, like for real single, since I was 11. I got saved at 15, and even before that point in my life, I really cared about what it meant to be a good man, or what it meant to have a successful marriage, or what it meant to have a big, beautiful family or whatever, right? And a lot of that came not from even just kind of this romanticized view of marriage inside Christianity. I think that played a big role in like expediting, make it go a lot faster. But even since I was a kid, always was told that I was gonna be a heartbreaker, and not knowing what that meant, just going, okay, thanks. But now knowing as an adult, having actually broken some hearts now, it's not a thing you wanna say to a kid. It's not something you wanna compliment somebody with saying at all. But I was just always fed and told that I was gonna be so handsome and so I was gonna beat girls off and blah, blah, blah. And I remember hearing that at 4. And then looking at my great aunt and great uncle who raised, or actually it's my great aunt and uncle who raised me and my mom, and looking at their marriage, and it's just Uncle John and Aunt Blanche. And I said, well, I want to be like Uncle John, because Uncle John is married to Aunt Blanche, and it's only one of her, so I only want one, right? And so then began the wave of adult women and older women saying, oh, this boy, he gonna be a one-man woman, he's so great, blah, blah, blah. And so then even more, psst, 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 right? I'm like seeing that, oh, this is something that's good. This is something that people like. I gotta really tighten up on this. Like, I gotta be a really, really great man. Not to say that I was doing it all for the praise of people, but it definitely helped, because if what I'm already doing gets me more praise, then all, by all means. And so I remember getting my first girlfriend, I think in 6th grade, and having braces and glasses. And ironically enough, those were the two things that my first girlfriend ever really saw about your boy. But anyway, got my first girlfriend in 6th grade. Like I said, I may have been 11 or 12. And it just was relationship after relationship after relationship. And these were not just like quick little girls here and there. Honestly, I was always a one-woman dude, and I was always trying to go the long haul. I mean, it's weird. If you're 12 years old, why are you in a relationship for 2 years? Like, it's a bit much. It's a little intense for a 12-year-old, for a 7th grader, right? But for me, man, it fed this narrative of being a good dude. It fed this narrative, or even having my virginity, right? I lost my virginity when I was 16 or 17, and I was in denial about it because I didn't want to lose my good guy thing. But the point is, I had been seeing my Aunt Blanche and Uncle John's marriage, but it was terrible. I saw it and I was like, I want to be with one woman, but not like that. So let me be better than him. And then I saw my mom was in an abusive relationship for a little over 10 years. And I saw that. I said, I don't want to be like that either. And so my dad, though, who I love a lot, wasn't able to be in the home with me because he was in the military. My mom and dad split up when I was 2. So he was always in a different state, sometimes in another country. He had a wife and kids, and I love them. They're my second family, man. And I saw, finally, my dad did it. My dad was able to be a good dude, be a good man, married a woman that he loves, start a family, whatever, and it was beautiful. But again, as much as wisdom as my dad has pointed into me, I was never able to see how he and his wife did life every day. I was never able to really see, like, how did you even get Shannon? I'll say her name. I was never able to really see, like, how did you even end up getting your wife? I didn't see that process. I saw the product. And so for me, marriage and husbandhood, it was something that was always right next to me, it seemed, but always so far off at the same time. And so my fear, and not even to mention my mother, who, once she finally got out of that abusive relationship, was single for probably another close to 10 years. She just got married, I think she was 40 or 39, and I walked her down the aisle. It was really cute. But I saw her journey even and said, I don't want to be single till I'm 40. And so in my fear, as a young man, I made it my mission to always be as solid of a guy as I could be. And I'm not perfect, wasn't perfect, never cheated, that's not what I'm saying, but the point is that I wanted to grab marriage as early and as quickly as possible and hold on to it and squeeze it for as long as possible. because it was slippery, it seemed. It was something beautiful that I had saw, but never really experienced. And becoming a Christian at 15, and the height of my hormonal outrage, I really, really wanted it then. Now being a young man, having cooled off some, but desiring marriage just the same. I began to pray, didn't get it, and threw a temper tantrum. However, in the last video, I talked about how really the gift for me, that while God said no to you're not ready for a wife right now, the gift for me is God saying, I'm gonna now sharpen you. I'm now going to prune you. I'm now going to give you patience. And I'll say this because this isn't directly related to marriage and things like that, but there are so many things. I know, like, I don't know how many people are gonna watch this video, but you are watching this, whoever you are, if you're like me, you really wanna be married. And you may, like me, also struggle to, I idolize this thing at times. But you have no idea how much God wants to gift you in maturation, how much God wants to gift you in literally your spiritual gifting, strengthening you in your ability to lead worship even, strengthening you in your ability to preach, strengthening your ability to love your neighbor well, to be hospitable, to be kind with people, there's so many different things that we feel like, well, God is fine. I'll take it into the marriage and I'll fix it later. I know, like, look at their marriage. He does this and she does this and they're still married. How do you even allow that to happen? And I'll never forget it. A good friend of mine, Brittany Johnson, I was talking to her, literally like spilling out my heart the same way I'm talking to y'all. And she said, well, Doc Quan, you gotta think, if you're gonna throw that temper tantrum and do what you wanna do, you gotta understand that for somebody, they're not even throwing a temper tantrum. That's literally their best effort to God. But for you, you know this is not your best. This is not your best. It's just like the parable of the talents, right? This is not my investment to the kingdom. This is not my greatest or my whole investment to the kingdom. And so while I want to be married right now, while I want a wife, I understand I probably could get myself into a marriage right now. If I really wanted to just disobey God, do what I want to do, I could find a girl and get married. I don't think that's a problem. But I think for people like you and me who have a terrible habit of idolizing marriage, God is saying, I'm not gonna let you go into this binding, beautiful thing, but it is definitely a covenant. And that's not a promise, that's a covenant. That includes God now, right? We're writing this contract with God and this person. He's saying, I need you to get free from bondage, from the pain of your childhood before you even go into that agreement. You gotta get out of agreement with the things that you've been brainwashed, that you've been conditioned to believe about yourself. And that's really the jewel for it for me, right? Remember I said that I felt like God had given me a stone. I asked for marriage, he gave me a stone. And I got frustrated, I threw it on the ground. But inside the stone is this diamond of patience, this diamond of self-control that I do not have, this, you know what I'm saying, this pearl of peace. There's so much inside that stone. If we were to take a chance to look inside the no, look inside the why, that's really where the blessing lies. That's really where the gift is at. And while it sounds really good coming off my lips into this camera and it looks real cool on YouTube, I am struggling to still look at this and say, this is a gift. But I know it is, because I know when I'm left to my own devices, I destroy myself. And I mean that quite literally. And people who walk life with me and know me will agree. So I really, really pray that this blesses somebody and that you would be patient with the Lord and trust God that he does give good gifts, even if you don't, you know what, the word never said he gives what you ask for. He said he gives good gifts. So you could ask for something horrible. But we talk about, God is a good father. So if you were to ask your dad for a fish, he wouldn't give you a stone. But if you were to ask your father for, if he said, you want something to drink, son? You say, yeah, Dad, I'll take a couple of Clorox. Dad's not gonna give you a cup of Clorox. He's gonna say, no, maybe a glass of water. The word never says God would give us whatever we ask for. He said he gives good gifts. So whatever God gives, know that it is good. No, you just gotta know. Because God is not a man that he will lie. And when you hear that voice, you have to shut it down. Because I was thinking things in my own head that only a demon would whisper to a child of God. If you've ever thought to yourself, maybe God lying about all of this, you need to come take a step back. You need to come read this for just 30 minutes, just 10. Just do a little devotion. And I'm serious about that. I mean that in a real practical way. Like literally today, I finished my first 7-day devotional in probably over 6 months. And it's been good for me. It's been good for me. It's been water to my soul, okay? So I'm encouraging you I hope I'm encouraging you by being transparent and sharing what God has told me. And I hope this is all making sense to you. So, yeah, from the city, we out.